Hi YouTube, Tamara here, and let's talk about writing goals. Specifically, how do you set them? We're coming to the end of 2016. It's that time of year where we reflect on what did we do, what didn't we do, what could we have done better, what do we want for next year. I don't know if you realize this, but I like to make goals. I like to-do lists. I may seem as though I kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and on some occasions I do. But I have to-do lists for days, honey. I like to have a good plan. It recently came to my attention that not everybody is as goal-oriented as I am, and they might not even know where to start. So I wanted to give you this kind of very blanket and basic way of creating and setting goals. Of course, everything I say here is not set in stone. You control your destiny and what you would like. So you listen to what I have to say, take what you like, leave what you don't like, figure out what will work best for you. Because regardless of what I say, this is all about you attaining your goals, reaching your dreams, doing what you want to do in 2017. Of course, before I start, two quick announcements. One, the Appalachian Terror Trail, the short story anthology that myself and 7 other lovely people contributed short stories to, is now for sale. $3.99, the ebook. I mean, it's a heck of a deal, y'all. I'll leave that link in the downstairs. Number two, goals are kind of my thing this week, so if you'd like to chat about it, I have two options for you. One, tonight, Tuesday, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hop on over to Twitter at hashtag WriteStuff. We'll be doing a Q&A. I'll be tweeting out questions. You guys can answer them and figure out what other people have to say. I love doing Write Stuff. I find it's really helpful, and it helps me to focus because it's like Tuesdays are kind of low energy days for me, and of course for me it's much earlier in the day. It's like 4 in the afternoon, so it kind of like jump starts me so I can get into my whole gig for the night. And the second way that you can chat about goals with us this week, Amy Tascata and I will be doing a hashtag Write Stuff fourth quarter goals check-in. And we'll be doing it here on this channel. And that will be this Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, if you can't make it, it will be here. It'll be uploaded to this channel and you can check it out later. But if you can make it, that would be wonderful. And we can talk about goals. All right, let's get into it. Before I even start writing my goals down, I like to take a minute and kind of check where I am right now. What do I mean by that? How much time do you have for writing per day? What are your obligations outside of writing? Do you have a YouTube channel? Do you have a club that you attend? Do you have a family that you're taking care of? Do you have a pet? Are you going to school? Do you have a full-time job? Do you have a part-time job? What are the things that take your time and so that it narrows down how much time you have to write? While I'm thinking about where I am, I also think about where have I been published? Do I have any short stories published places, any posts, any articles, any nonfiction published places, perhaps something published in a trade journal? Do I have a newsletter that I'm sending regularly, an author website that I'm updating? Is there a Wattpad that I'm posting chapters to? Am I publishing books? What am I doing? And I just kind of evaluate where I am. From there, I start thinking of big goals. And I know for some of us, thinking about big goals can be kind of a scary thing. It can be kind of intimidating. But remember, you're just thinking about what would you like to happen? What would you like to see? And nothing is written in stone. You can always change your mind. It's flexible. It's your life. But it's good to kind of get an idea of what you want to do with this whole writing thing, 10 years from now, do you want to be writing for magazines full-time? It's your steady job, and that's what you do. 10 years from now, do you want to be publishing cookbooks that are for your family? So you create these cookbooks and you publish them on Lulu or Creative Space or wherever, and these are things that you distribute to family for holidays, like for Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. What does that big goal that you want. And pick your time frame. It could be 10 years, 5 years, 1 year. We'll concentrate on 1 year for the sake of this video. Look at those writing goals that you want to accomplish at the 1 year's time, and we start to work backwards from those goals to figure out what are the small steps that we can take toward those goals. When we're making these steps or actionable plans that you can do in order to work toward this overarching goal or goals for the year, there's some things you need to keep in mind. First, be realistic. For instance, if you say, my goal for 2017 is by the end of the year, I want to have published 17 books that are full-length novels. Even if you're self-publishing, if you haven't written any rough drafts, that may be an impossible goal. At least if it's a goal that you somehow manage to voodoo your way through, it's going to be incredibly stressful and time-consuming. Perhaps instead of 17 books, you break that down to 1 or 2 or 3 or what have you. You know how fast you write, how quickly you're able to edit and get beta readers and send it to an editor and all those things that you need to do for a book. Or if you don't know, that maybe having a very large goal just isn't sustainable for you. Perhaps breaking it down to doing 1 book in a year or 2 would just make more sense for you. Make your goal reasonable so that you have a better chance of achieving that goal, because that's really important. You don't want to set yourself up for failure. Make your goals measurable. For instance, if you want to write more next year, instead of saying something as vague as that, I'll write more next year, instead, I will write 500 words a day, 1 chapter a week. I will write 1 short story every 2 weeks, whatever. But it's something that you can hold yourself accountable to, and it has an actual measurable product. You could see that you have reached that goal. Because when you make a goal that's kind of vague, like I will write more in 2017, how do you really measure what more is? Make your goals things that you can control. For instance, if you say by the end of 2017, I want to have a literary agent, that's a little iffy because you can't control whether or not a literary agent picks you up. But what you can control is how many queries you send out, how often you update your queries. If you participate in, let's say, Pitch Madness on Twitter or other kind of literary agent Twitter competitions, etc. So you make it something that you can control instead of something that will be outside of your control. Does that make sense? Of course, write down your goals. I have my 7 major 2016 writing goals right here, right beside my desk. So when I come in here, I glance over at, have I reached these 7 goals? Come by on Wednesday and you'll find out. Amy from Savvy Sexy Social, a YouTube channel, which I highly recommend. She has so many videos with so much information and really good things for people who are trying to be entrepreneurs, which I think of being a writer as being an entrepreneur. You are a small business, basically. One thing she does is in the morning, she writes down in her journal her goals every single day. So it's like, it's reinforced. She zeroes in on what she needs to do and what things she can do today to get her closer to achieving those goals. In addition to, if you're someone who's more of a visual person, maybe you'd want to make layouts in your journal, or perhaps make a Pinterest board that has your different writing goals for 2017 in there. Maybe even create a vision board that you put on a corkboard and have it attached to your wall or as a document on your laptop. Whatever. Because like I said, adapt these things to suit you and what works best for you. When you're thinking about your goals, you have your big overarching goal, and then you have your subsequent steps that are going to lead to this goal. One thing to think about is how often do I want to have to update my goals or have new goals where I check in, take one goal out, put another one in its place. As you're going through your year, you're wanting to be, of course, achieving goals, but at some point you have to go back, reevaluate, and then create new ones. Otherwise, all your goals, you might hit them all in March, then what's going to happen for the rest of the year? Or if you don't check in until the end of the year, you may have forgotten things, and you may have found that you have lost track of your goals and you didn't reach as many things as you wanted to reach. Depending on what works best for you, you could look at things on a monthly basis, every 2 months, 3 months, 4, 6 months, or annually, but I don't really recommend annually because, again, I think that you should probably check in more often so that you can reevaluate your goals, see what's working, see what's not working, what you have achieved, and evaluate and move on. As you're probably aware, since I mentioned it earlier, I do a quarterly, so it's like a seasonal thing. So with each season comes a new look at my goals and talking about them on here with you guys. That's it. That's my little kind of beginner's discussion about how to create writing goals to get yourself ready and motivated for 2017. Let me know in the comments down below what was one goal that you reached in 2016 and what is one goal that you want to reach in 2017. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring my bell, hit that little notification thing so that you can be notified when I put videos up. I usually put up 1 or 2 videos a week, but I don't have a set date. So with the little bell marked, then it'll let you know when my videos come up. One other thing, if you have any questions about writing that you'd like for me to address, please leave them down in the comment section. Basically, always. I want to create videos that are catered to what you want to learn, what you want to talk about, what you need for your writing life. And instead of me just trying to guess, I prefer for you to just tell me. So, again, my name is Tamara. This is where I talk about books, writing them, reading them, and editing them. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.